Hello viewers and welcome to the agenda here on Zanu TV. Today I'm joined by the esteemed Joshua Maponga. He is here to discuss a plethora of issues that are currently going on, where we see ourselves as a nation, and what we need to do for us to move as a one nation with unity. Welcome to the show, Elder Maponga.
Thank you very much.
Maybe first and foremost, before we dive into deep issues, who is Joshua Maponga?
Mwana wa sose tiswana mkhanya unavuzi jena chigara mboko gara mashamba uda vana matanga kugara zvikazvitedza zvinopigwa wanaona manga vari pedu vanotamba nazvo mutambo uri paruware kuira miti yasose chibva pawedza apa asi zita ndiri Maponga, mwana wa munyuki ndakaberekwa wangu mubikita mumaprazi manyaunda asi vana sekuru vanobva pasose guruswa.
You've been all over the world, and you have seen a lot. You have had vast experiences about be it governance in different continents of the world. You decided to come back to Zimbabwe. You saw it fit to come here and aid Zimbabwe in trying to create a national identity. How is this coming along?
It is a struggle because when dogs are used to eating meat, children have been breastfeeding for a long time. Weaning children away from the breast of their mother is always a painful experience, both for the child and the mother. You may end up having to use pepper and other things just to deter the child, but they can't understand that they were drinking this thing for so long and now you're telling them to stop. It's like the whole world has come asunder. And I tend to sense that in the political frustration, that people have been doing things and seeing things happening in a certain way. And when you come around from outside and say, guys, let's stop this. We've been trying it for 20 years. It has not worked. You have protested for 20 years. It has not worked. You've beaten each other for 20 years. It has not worked. What solution do we have? In a typical example, when you find yourself that you are on a ship which has been sailing in one direction for 42 years, and then you discover that the ship is not going in the direction you want it to go. Then as a young man, I want to ask you, what options do you have? Option number one, bend the ship. Okay? Option number two, beat everyone else who's on board. Option three, protest and run slogans on the thing and make the ship ungovernable. Option four, how about call a friend from America to give you instructions on how to ride a ship. Now it's an emergency, but you are going to learn as you are going. Option six, maybe go to the captain and find out where are we going and find out exactly how can we turn this thing towards the direction we want it to go. And having said that, whether we're talking MDC, we're talking CC, we're talking Zanu PF, the young people who are frustrated, you have an option. If you want to bend the country, bend it. If you want to kill the driver, the captain, kill him. If you want someone else from outside to run a ship for you while you are learning, it's your choice. But for me as an old man, I would rather go to the captain and ask him, where are we going?
Okay.
How can you help this young man? It looks like, help him so that in case you faint, he can take over. And are the young men prepared? Are they patient enough to learn the skills so that we have a general takeover? No, we don't have a history. This thing has been 42 years. We have moved from the 70s, from the times of war, in the times of the Mugabe regime. Now we're in the Second Republic. We have moved a distance. The only things that can we make our government accountable to deliver that which they've promised in their national strategic plan to deliver. Okay.
You are never shy about throwing your support behind the ruling party. Considering that the image at the moment and the way it is being portrayed, would you say it is the right party for you to say Zanu PF is where my vote and my support should be in terms of bringing change in Zimbabwe?
Throwing my weight behind the way you selected it, I will forgive you for that. But I'll be quite clear so that you don't miss me. A cup is either half empty or it is half full. It just depends where you're looking at it from. And destroying something is much faster. Right now we can bring this building down in less than a week. in a matter of seconds if you bomb it up.
Yes.
But if I say let's build it up, it will not
take
be as
time.
easy. So I'm not young anymore that I could be excited about starting new things. Otherwise, we'll have divorced 100 times. We will have destroyed everything that we come in contact with. What I'm looking at is, are there some good things on the system that we have that we can build on? Are there some dead wood that are around the system that we can cut off? Can this be redeemed into something that is functional? I'm looking at the old people with experience. I'm looking at old people with power. I'm looking at old people with financial means and political power.
Okay.
I'm looking at the young people on the other side with energy, no business, no money, no political instruments. And they're shouting at the old people that give us the economy. How does an old man who has worked for his money donate it to the young boy who neither has a business, nor a company, no political will? We want to take it off. How are we going to deal?
But wouldn't it be a contradicting situation? In more of an ironical situation to say we have Zanu PF, they have been in power. The reason why they went to war, it was for they needed better opportunities, better jobs. Just like the way the youth in Zimbabwe are calling at the moment to say no, we need a better administration, an administration that looks at the youth and offers them opportunities.
Right. You hit it well when you say they went to war and they were young. Our honorable president was 15, 16 years when he went to war.
Yes.
Are you prepared at your age to go to war? That's question number one. Two, even if that should happen, that the young people want to go to war, you have two options. And listen to me very carefully as young people. You have two options.
Yes.
Option number one, you align yourselves with a system that is political will. Option two, you go to war. And by going to war, you need guns, you need bombs, and you need knowledge on how to fight with a government that is already at war. The last option is calling other people to come and help you to fight this thing, and you get into another 15, 20 years of civil war. We've looked at Somalia, we've looked at Congo, we've been there as a country. And if another generation say, we don't want what is happening right now, we want to start another war, well, you better be prepared to sacrifice your own lives to get this done. But the people you're talking to are not dead, they are alive. And the beautiful part is that the people that are in power are your parents. They are your fathers. This is not Smith regime. These are your fathers and mothers. Some of your brothers and sisters, cousins and brothers whose fathers are in government and are enjoying money. Once in a while you go and enjoy the money with them. So what's wrong with you talking to your own parents to align and tell them the future that you want?
But isn't it people go through a metamorphosis? Like even things, they go through a metamorphosis. They change. The way we see things now and the way things were seen generations ago. Don't you think that maybe, just maybe, there is need to accommodate the youth in terms of coming up with new ideas of doing things? I say this. I'll give you an example. Back in the 1900s, we didn't have fast ways to communicate. But for now, we talk of WhatsApp, we talk of Facebook. Those are innovations that were brought
But
by.
the basis is communication.
The basis is communication.
So we don't change communication.
No,
We're just
communication
changing instruments.
Yes. So no, my point is, don't you think that we ought to include the youth and give them opportunities when it comes to government?
I'll be very kind with you. Your grandfathers and those that died in the struggle are your roots.
Okay.
Your present parents are the trunks of the trees. You are the branches and the fruits. The roots support the tree. The fruits don't support the roots.
Okay.
So by logical thinking, seasons can change, fruits can change, but the tree must remain solid on the ground. Appreciate your history, appreciate your parents, and as young people, you can make your fruit salads, you can make your fruit juices, you can make anything else that is cosmetic and put more flowers on it and enjoy your holidays. But once you cut off the very basis on which you sit, you may end up having to start to plant something totally new. It might take you 10, 15, 20 years to have the same product.
Okay.
So I'm just saying we don't have that luxury of time.
At the same time, we also need to bear in mind that the tree will grow old and eventually it will need to give fruits or seeds rather that will carry on its legacy, be it legacy or.
So you have an option in that case to take the seeds and start planting fresh plants in the ground. Okay. And you are not going to be harvesting from this with a 2 weeks old party. You're not going to be harvesting this with a 1-year-old party. I do macadamia and pecan nut plantations. You need 5 to 10 to 15 years to begin to enjoy the fruits of a tree. And the excitement of the youth must not be confused with the ability to run something. If I want to kill you right now, I must donate a helicopter for you and put it outside and say, drive it. No matter how intelligent you are, you need to learning to how to do that.
Okay.
Taking the present historical background we come from and the instruments that we've developed, both constitutionally, culturally, and academically, and handing them over into the hands of the young people who are still going to experiment with life.
Okay.
It's a bit of a risk. I'm advocating for a meeting place
Okay.
where the experience of the old and the energy of the young
energy of the
should meet somewhere. That's where it happens. I don't want this parallel thing.
So you saying
Integration.
rather they need to be integration.
Integration. I would rather talk of a united government.
Okay.
Where you are lawyers, the BTs, the Chamisas, and etc. You're all lawyers.
Yes.
You want to promote a constitution, but you're refusing to sit in a government where the constitution is being discussed and where you can actually direct and champion the direction of your own country. You're shouting from outside the room. How do you change a constitution from the location when the constitution is being changed in the parliament? So he said that you're telling us that you don't believe in parliament. And remember something for free. You're an opposition team now who is refusing to come into power and destabilizing the country. Immediately when you're in power, remember that those people that were in power become the opposition party. So we have a vicious cycle of constant pickering and fighting. Whereas I think that on the table, this conversation should be taking place.
Okay.
If violence in election is being spoken about, let's talk about it in the parliament.
But maybe as a question, do you see Zimbabwe having elections, going through the campaigns and everything without violence?
Ian Smith says the day an African will be running this country, his jacket will have rotten on the chair. Did that happen? Zimbabwe is now running itself. So it's only the rocks that don't change, but even weathering tries to change them.
Okay.
Zimbabwe will not go anywhere.
Okay.
People will come and go.
Okay.
The country remains. And as it remains, and new generations come upon it, and they impact on it, and they champion its future, then we can begin to talk about a consolidated country moving towards progress. But as long as we are fighting each other, dragging each other right now, instead of the youth right now coming together, changing the education system, the IT spaces, getting involved in agriculture, grabbing spaces and licenses for mining and etc., getting involved in the economy, because politics is rubbish as far as I'm concerned. Economy is politics.
Okay.
Because the one who has money determines the political conversation. Look at South Africa. Rupert and Oppenheimer, two guys, sit in a park and decide where 54 million people must go. And here in Zimbabwe, we need to start finding out who are the financially able people and what influence can they have on the government, and how do we develop more of these people so that our political conversation is actually sponsored by ourselves.
Okay. Speaking of the youth, there's been a lot of water apathy amongst the youth. They have been, for lack of a better word, abstaining from participating in the political space.
But anger. They've abstained, but they're angry. You must see the way they write on Facebook and stuff like that. I've never known the Zimbabwean community to be so vile and vulgar, and you call it apathy.
I'm saying, okay, that's why I said, for a lack of a better word, I will use the word, they abstain from these spaces, this space of participating. What do you think needs to be done for us to have the youth also partake in the debates of the day, be it political, be it social issues, be it economic issues?
They don't need to participate. They need to make money. And when people are financially able,
yes,
politics becomes entertainment for the poor.
Okay.
There's no way you can go in the street to toy when you must go to the bank and cash your check. You know what you will do. I don't even need to tell you. You tell the guys, it's okay, emergency. I'll see you after. Because once people are occupied with self-involvement, but we need infrastructure. We need business opportunities so that we can begin to get busy with our lives. Politics must not become employment, where you can subdue 10-20% of the community simply to be doing politicking, because there's no cash out of that except selling t-shirts and selling caps, and whoever's transporting people is being given fuel. But at the end of the day, those people, all of them go home with dry lips and hungry stomachs, and they get angry. And I want to tell you, CC and MTC young people, that we are putting lots of words into the heads of these young people. We are going to. We are going to. We are going to. Hallelujah. When we were also young, we had Zanu PF saying, we are going to take all these trucks and we're going to use them for carrying manure. It was your age, if not younger. And we were excited. Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe is coming. I'm hearing this song for the second time coming from the young people. Zimbabwe is coming, it will come. Stop lying. You're going to build highways and etc. Where are you going to get the money from? We are going to do this and this. From where? And if you don't know how to work with the instruments of power and know that employment, for example, is the responsibility of entrepreneurs, it's the business of business, not the business of government. Government creates an environment, a framework. Then the business people must participate. You want to fight the government, you miss something. There are two things you must agree with me. One, there's a chair. Two, there's a man sitting on the chair. The man sitting on the chair is the leader. The chair is the office. And the young people need to know, how do you access the business of the chair, which is the government instrument that must deliver services to you, vis-a-vis how do you fight the man sitting on a chair? Because right now, if the government, through the Department of Tourism, is creating X number of jobs, through the Department of Agriculture is creating X number of opportunities, young people register there and go and get your small little 10-hectare farms, go there and do your No. We're educated, and we're told once you're educated, you don't have to plow. We all cannot do agriculture. You're smart enough. You don't need to do agriculture. But since 10 people are already planting millies, why can't you open a factory that beneficiates and make cornflakes? You're educated. And the other one is marketing. The other one is. So you need to start looking at the value chains, production lines, so that we all don't go queuing for land. We all now want land. Okay, all of you have land. So now you're all exporting raw materials again. So we need you as young people to start thinking. When you're doing your marketing and when you're doing your manufacturing and you're learning these things, where did you learn that you're going to place yourself on the value chain? At the end of the day, every time a truck is transporting raw material out of your country, it is exporting your jobs. Because you as young people have forgotten how to plug into the value chain. Be it gold, be it diamond, be it cotton, be it maize, be it copper, be it anything. There are lots of other products that we can come in. And I think that's where employment starts fitting in. And I wish you as CCC and MDC could come to the fore. No, I'm not. You call me Zanu PF, so why can't I call you CCC or MDC?
No.
It doesn't mix with. Are you Zanu PF?
No.
Okay, then let's stop there. You as opposition leaders, position yourselves into the value chain. Immediately when you have money, you will be able to influence the political conversation.
Okay. Okay, maybe as a journalist, when I speak from the things that we see.
You speak for the people here.
Yes.
And me, I'm against the people.
And I also follow you on your pages, and
Yeah.
I see the rate that you go through.
I understand.
So maybe as we come to the end of our session, what words do you have to the young people of Zimbabwe? Because for me, my concern is about the young people of Zimbabwe. We are the next generation. We are the next leaders, be it next economists, be it next whatever that is needed for the country to move forward. We are that. And what are your words as someone who has been everywhere and have seen everything?
Firstly, I would like to acknowledge that 60%, if not 70% of the municipality governments and the municipality offices in the country are in the hands of the opposition. That's a fact. So you already have a place to start. You need to hold your municipalities accountable to service delivery. Then they begin to tell you the political issues that are involved in there. But you wanted to get into politics. So deal with the politics. Don't give us excuses as to why you cannot get Harare fixed, why you cannot get Gwere fixed. Because apparently in the municipality, there's a mayor, from the mayor, there's an MP, then there's a minister of local governments, and things are difficult, what. That's your politics. All we want is people, because we voted you into the office.
You need to deliver.
Deliver. If you can't deliver, go and get your story together. Let's put those that can deliver. But at the end of the day, we need to stop making promises. Number two, we need to start mobilizing ourselves as a country towards a common convergence. And I'm coming from a cultural perspective. The tangent and the tension I feel between Zulu, between Ndebele and Shona is not a healthy environment for a country. We need that Gukuraondi story dealt with properly, even if it means that both the Shonas and the Ndebeles could find each other in some amicable conversation. I've got a few strategies. I will not share them freely, but there are things that we can do, both culturally, spiritually, and physically, to begin to close that gap. And ultimately, to build a country, you need to understand that you cannot use foreign principles and foreign policies and foreign governance issues to manage an African situation. This whole concept, I know many people believe in democracy for some obsession of its definition on paper. It gives power to the people. But you look around countries that are successful in the world, America included. George Bush is a president, and his son becomes a president. Democracy. What did you call that? If Chatunga had become president of this country, what were we going to say?
It's a monarchy.
It's now a monarchy, but it's America. This is the epitome of democracy. And Clinton and his wife Look at Britain. Is Britain a democratic country?
It's led by
there you go. You look at Germany, led by a chancellor. You look at United Emirates. Look at China. So we need to look around as Africans and say, is our model of governance working to deliver for us what we need for ourselves? Because the obsession with American democratic systems brings with it the culture, the rotten culture of Americanism, with its religion, with its capitalistic ideas. Now you have a problem that one man is making so much money, but you are promoting the same capitalistic issues. So you need to understand that as Africans, can we use a bit of Ubuntu also? Mushandira pamwe, humwe, kubatana, and how do we begin to champion and tweak and tailor-make this monster called governance and democracy into a practical African-based solution, which will work for our people. We went to war because we wanted to bring land back to the kings and the chiefs. But when we left and came back into power, then those that had gone to war says, we are now the kings and we are now the chiefs. We're not going to give back power to those. We're not going to run. And we understand what Mugabe, the Chitepos, and the rest of them did. Here we are now. Can we revise
that?
Or do we now catapult ourselves and make ourselves another Brooklyn?
Okay, Elder Maponga, thank you so much for your time here on News TV. And thank you for the wisdom and the visions that you always share with us.
Anytime. We must talk again. We must talk again, but this time around, find one subject.
Okay.
Find one subject so that we can be thorough.
You know why, like, I try to be all over the place. I know you are a busy man. You are so difficult to track down and tie down to say, can you come?
I won't tell them what you did last time. This would have been the second one. But anyway, you are forgiven.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Blessings to you.
So, viewers, that was Elder Maponga. I prefer to call him Elder Maponga, but he says you can call me whatever you want to call me. He is an African who's concerned about African issues, about African governance, and the way we can carry forward as a nation with one identity. Thank you so much for watching. For more, follow us on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, subscribe, and our website, newszimbabwe.com. Thank you.